Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about patch number 5 in Sons of the Forest. In this patch we got log sleds, regrowing trees, advanced cooking, and lots more. Alright, let's get right into it. Let's start with the log sleds. There are two log sleds now. There's the basic log sled and there's the normal log sled. And the normal log sled is a new advanced log sled that we have not seen in the game before. It can carry up to 12 logs in it, and the basic log sled can carry 8. The basic log sled is a lot like the one from the original game, which is really cool. The only difference with these log sleds compared to the original game is that they can only carry logs as of right now. So you cannot add sticks or stones or bodies or whatever you tried to cram in it. It's only going to be logs. For now, they might change this later on, but for now it is only logs. Cool thing with the log sleds is that you can actually command Kelvin to go and fill the log sleds for you. So you can park these somewhere and have Kelvin fill them up for you and then bring them back to your base. So it's a really cool addition. I love that when they're adding new things into the game that they're also incorporating the AI and expanding on that system. Speaking of commands for Kelvin, Kelvin has another command. He can now go fishing and fill your drying racks, which is super sweet. He's really good at fishing. There's actually some parts of the map where I've put fish traps out and I get no fish, but Kelvin, he's just the master of fishing. So this is super useful. He'll fill up your drying racks so that you don't even have to bother with it. I don't even know. You might not even need a fish trap at this point, but I do like how the game has all these different options for how you can get food and things like that. So super sweet addition to the game. There is a new cooking system in the game now with the cooking pot. This is really cool actually. So around the map in different campsites and different locations, you might stumble upon a pot, a cooking pot. You can then take that pot, fill it up with water, and place it over the fire. Once you do that, you'll have a cog wheel and you can see all the different recipes that you can make. I thought this was kind of funny. The chicken noodle soup is actually an arm, and then some of the ramen that you pick up around the maps. It's fun and it's cool. The chicken noodle one, I believe it'll fill you up, both your hunger and your thirst, by consuming it 4 times, which is the whole pot. So if you do eat the whole stew, then you should have full stats. I haven't tested all of the different recipes, but hopefully this gives berries and some of these other things that we pick up on the map, hopefully it gives it a little bit more value. I mean, like, blueberries don't do anything for hunger like they did in the forest, so it's cool to see that they're giving these collectibles a little bit more meaning in the game. So that is a really super cool creative system to have. Yeah, no, the pot's awesome. There is a new point of interest on the map, and this is the beached sailboat section. There are 2 sailboats that are beached on, I believe, the west side of the map. This is actually fairly close to where you pick up the machete. It's actually just right on the other side of this little massive land. They're pretty cool. They're huge. They're really well detailed yachts. It's not the same model from the original game. There's 2 of them. You can find a camera clip pick up there. I'm not going to play it for you in this video. There's also another camera clip location I have not found yet. I haven't even found the other 2 that they have in the game. I think there might be 6 in total. I'm not entirely sure, but I haven't found the camera clips. At some point I'll go through and do the cameras, but anyways, you can find a cooking pot here. This is actually a really beautiful place if you wanted to build here, and now with this point of interest, it kind of makes it even more useful because there is things like food and the cooking pot and just things that you can collect on the boat. I believe they probably respawn when you relog the game. So yeah, cool little area. I like that they're adding more points of interest and more places to explore on the map, which is really cool. And speaking of that, they have added a butt ton of new locations. There's 79 new ponds and 34 new lakes added to the map. So this gives you a lot more options as far as finding a place to build, because you'll have access to water sources and fish and things like that. That just makes it so much easier to find a place to build and give you more options of places to build. I generally always build near water, so this is a really great addition. I'm glad that they added that to the game. There's a new wearable clothing item. This is the spacesuit. You can wear it yourself or you can give it to Kelvin. It's cool. It looks cool. I'm a space nerd, so I'm really excited about that. I still don't really understand the storyline with the spacesuit and the guys in the golden armor cave that they added recently. I don't know what the story is behind there, but it is a cool little outfit. Along with Kelvin being able to fill log carts and fill drying racks, Kelvin can actually now reset all of your traps. So if you have traps set out around the base and they're all triggered, you can just have Kelvin go out and he'll reset all of them. And I kind of wish there was like a task list that you could put up like in your base, and it's for Kelvin, and it's like things to do while I'm gone, reset traps, you know, put wood on the fire, things like that. It would be really cool to have those like little like daily tasks that you can set out. Maybe it's like only 3 of them. I don't know. That would be a really cool thing. You know what? I'm going to put that in my next things to add in Sons of the Forest video, because that would be really cool. Another thing about traps, you can now add them to log structures. I never tried to do this before. I actually really haven't messed around with traps too much in this game, other than the small game traps and the fish traps, but I guess that's cool. All right, this one I'm actually really excited for. Trees now have a 10% chance of growing back when you sleep. So this is very similar to how it worked in the original game. When you go to sleep, a tree that has been cut down has a 10% chance of regrowing. So this is great. If you destroy the stump, if it works the same as it did in the original game, it should not regrow. If you don't want trees growing in specific areas, you can totally have control over that by just destroying the stump of the tree. But this is awesome. This just makes it so much easier to build. It'll make your base look a little less barren, which is really nice. But yeah, this is a huge, I've been wanting this since the game launched, and all of my friends have been like, why, you know, do they trees regrow? It's like the first thing that they ask when they get into the game. So this is really great to see. Endnight's really listening to the community here, like with the log sled. I don't believe that they were planning on adding the log sled, but they did. They brought it back, and not only did they bring it back, but they expanded on it as well, which is really cool. Like they built it again from the ground up, and the new addition to like the bigger log sled that they made, it just looks cool with the skull lights and everything. So and trees regrowing, like they're listening to the community. It's really nice to see. And yeah, so Endnight, just huge props to you. I love seeing updates that are surprising, like the Night V, but also bringing back stuff or adding things to the game that have been suggested by the community. That's super awesome. You can now strum the guitar. There's a couple of songs that you can do that are from the game that you can just play on the guitar, which is really cool. They also added a nice little nod to the original game. You can play the main theme from the forest, which is just really cool. I hope at some point they add an amp so that way we can actually like hear this a little bit louder than just strumming on an electric guitar with no amp. But it's super cool. Really like this little bit of detail, and it's fun. One thing I think would be nice to add is that when you are playing the guitar, that some of the AI will be able to interact with it. Like, you know, maybe Kelvin and Virginia will start dancing. I know Virginia will just randomly dance, or if you're near a radio, she will dance. But yeah, it would be cool to see them reacting to you playing the guitar. I think that'd be a nice little detail for them to add. Now we're going to get into some spoilers, so if you haven't completed the game, you might want to click off the video now, but make sure that you like and subscribe before you leave if you found this video helpful. Alright, let's get into it. Now at the end boss fight, Timmy will have a mutated arm, which is a callback to the end of the first game. In the end of the first game, Timmy, you'll see him, his arms are kind of mutated because he was resurrected from the artifact in the first game. So it's really cool to see that, having a callback to that, and it seems like he's controlling his, you know, mutated arm. So you'll see him in this clip. I'm in peaceful mode, so you can't actually see him fighting the boss, but what he'll be doing when you walk down there is he'll be fighting the boss, and then he gets thrown over to the entrance, or sorry, the exit to the boss fight. He'll get thrown over there, and he'll block that doorway. He'll block that cave entrance, and you'll have to complete the boss fight. And once you do, he'll walk through, and then you can follow him. And now at the end cutscene, he does have a little bit more dialogue, or actually not a little more. He now has some dialogue, and I hope that they add more, because it definitely feels like there's some things missing from the end game.
We're out of time. No.
I think what we're seeing is a lot of the early game stuff has been pretty well established at this point, and a lot of the end game stuff hasn't really been finalized. So it's nice to see them adding this stuff. Obviously, they probably have been wanting to, but they just haven't gotten to adding it yet. I'm sure that they've worked on the beginning of the game a lot more than they have on the end game. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot more mid to end game stuff being added over the next couple of months. I will have the rest of this update linked in the description below, but that's all I'm covering in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please click like, and if you really enjoyed it, click subscribe. I really appreciate you guys being here and watching to the end. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.